Review that review.
Okay, my review this week is from Google. It is a 1-star review of Mauve Lash, Mauve MAV Lash, not to put them on blast, but Mauve Lash in California. This review is written by Jody B. I've been debating writing this for hours, but every time I walk by the mirror, I'm almost in tears. I wanted to be kind, but I'm really disappointed in my entire experience. I did a lot of searching for what I wanted and who I should go to before booking my appointment, but I have to admit how wrong I was. My appointment was for a mixed set. I picked this because I have naturally decent length lashes, but wanted them to be a little fuller, but still more natural. A set I can roll out without needing to wear mascara and liner makeup every day. When I arrived, the tech called my name, but didn't introduce herself or anything. I told the receptionist and her that I've never had lashes before, and she asked to see some photos of what I wanted. The pics we looked at were from the Mauve Lash Instagram. I pointed out what I liked, and she said, so more natural, to which I agreed, and also pointed out a few that said, I'm sorry, to which I agreed, and also pointed out a few that she said were cat eye angled. I told her I didn't want anything doll eyed or too lush. I thought we were on the same page, and I paid down and she began. After about 2 hours, she finished, and I asked to use the restroom before checking out. Once in the bathroom, I took a glance in the mirror and was shocked. They were so long and looked like one of those dolls that eyes close when you lay it down and open when it's upright. Not at all the more natural but fuller look we chatted about or the photos we looked at. When I came out, I immediately told her. Her response was that she couldn't do anything about the length unless she took them off completely and put a new set on. I was devastated as I tried to ask what we could do. She offered to take some of the fullness out of one that was heavier than the other. I agreed to that, but honestly, didn't see much of a difference. At that point, I just wanted to leave. I was hungry and really upset, but trying to still be nice. I was hoping once I put on mascara on my lower lashes that it would offset everything. Now that I'm home, the mascara didn't help at all. So I washed my face and literally a quarter of them fell right out. I don't know if it's my face wash or what, since I was given no care instructions verbally or anything. I'm getting really irritated that I paid close to $200 for this. They look awful, and I'm at the point of just pulling them all off myself in the morning. Big disappointment, waste of my money, and very unhappy with how the tech handled it all. My tech was Jensine.
Is that the name, Ginseng?
Yes, Gensine. Would you pronounce that another way?
No, I just didn't know if that was like a millennial term or something.
Oh, good.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
Jody B.
Jody B.
Wait, have you ever had eyelash extensions?
Not like the kind of eyelash extensions like this that are meant to last a long time. I think for my sister's wedding, we did like the makeup artist did the little eyelashes, and they were the nicer ones where you put them on one at a time, but I think they still were meant to be temporary. So nothing like this.
Right. Those are like little wispies.
Yes.
Because I have two friends that have had like these long-term eyelash extensions put on.
Yeah.
And I know that at least with those two girls, it's commonplace that like it looks a little extreme at first, and then they do sort of like
fall
I
off.
guess yeah.
Yeah, I had that thought too. Like when she said a quarter of them fell off, like I wanted to be like, did it look better when a quarter of them fell off? Like, is it one of those things where it sort of sheds after a while and then it starts to look more natural? I honestly don't know. And neither does Jody.
I have a lot of thoughts here. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to me, like, I am a person that was blessed with very long and full eyelashes. My sister was
Yes.
not. So it's been a common conversation in our lives, like that it's so unfair. Um, but if you, I guess like Jody B mentions that they have decent length eyelashes to begin with. So
Yeah.
then my question is, well, then why are you getting the service? I understand that there's like a middle ground, like you don't want to be a drag queen, but like
Right.
you want it to look more full and natural.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel like that line is so specific to each individual that like it's very tough. And that just makes me stressed out for these like technicians, because it's like people are probably, you're going to be dealing with a lot of opinions, and
Right.
that's a personal opinion, you know? Um,
Everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one, as or Joe Kinosian beautifully wrote. But like to me, I don't know. I feel like if I don't know, that's so difficult to me because it. Do you think that there's like a judgment snap that people might have if it looks like you have like giant false eyelashes on and you're like at CVS?
I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I'm less worried about the judgment stop because I figure it's just like if you want it, like you rock it, you rock it. Um, I think I have like long-ish eyelashes. Like I don't particularly have a problem, but I think everybody looks better with a little mascara, you know. And so
Yes.
I can understand saying like, oh, like it would be nice to have a little something extra and not have it be like a full glam look.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the thing where I'm trusting Jody a little bit here is that it seems like she knew what she liked based on the fact that she showed examples. She pulled things specifically from their Instagram, like not like random Instagram. Like,
Mm-hmm.
here's an example of work that you have done in the past that I liked. And based on this work, that's why I'm here. And then the person said, like, oh, okay, I get it. Like you want something more natural and
Not
seemed
doll like.
like not doll like specifically, and you know maybe like a little bit of a cat eye angle but like pretty natural. um and yeah, I mean, I don't know, I feel for her because when I mean, this is a little bit of a non sequitur, but when I was a kid, I really wanted to get highlights because my sister was a blonde and she got highlights since she was younger. And I just was like, I want to do this thing. And so I begged my mom to let me get highlights when I was in middle school. And she begrudgingly agreed. And I got these red highlights. And then I went in the bathroom and they looked kind of like weird red purple to me, and I just remember being completely devastated, like that
Yeah.
feeling of getting something done and then going to the bathroom and seeing it and then having that like I felt for Jody B in that moment, because it's like it's a weird thing. You're like, what do I do? Like how do I manage this? Like I am upset. And I think that, you know, when you get services like that, you should be able to tell them that you're upset and you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just wish that, I mean, they didn't show her a mirror along the way. Like, it just seems like in the 2 hour period that and again, I've never had this done, so I don't know how it works, but don't you like usually when you get your haircut or you get something, they're like, how are you liking it? Like, is this, do you want it a little shorter? Do you want it a little longer? Like, why weren't they checking in with her?
I had that question too because 2 hours is so long. And also,
Yeah.
like, because I would think like to check in after one eye is complete and you're switching to the next. Like, how
Right.
is
Cause
this
like at
appearing to
that,
you?
yeah, exactly. Like check in after one eye. And then it's like, oh, if we have to completely pivot, then we only have to take a set off of one eye. So I do,
I would think that the technician is at fault for that.
yeah, I do.
Right.
Like, I think like the fact that she had to go to the bathroom to see what was happening, that's weird to me. Isn't it weird?
It is weird. Also, conversely, because I've also been in a situation where like now it's very trendy to have these crazy extreme fades for
Yeah.
boys, like with the haircut. But that happened to be in college, and it was right after Rosie O'Donnell had come out, and she did that to her hair. And all I thought was, I look like Rosie O'Donnell, and it was like so upsetting. So I understand when you get something done that does not feel like you, and
Yeah.
you have to face it. That is like very confronting and upsetting. So
Yeah.
like I'm not judging that, but to me I feel like eyelashes are so much less severe than hair color or a haircut.
I mean, yes and no. Like it's on your face. You know what I mean?
True.
Like with
Eyes
a
are the
haircut,
heart of the soul or whatever.
yeah, like with a haircut, you could put a hat on, I guess, if worse comes to worse. Like,
Right.
I guess
Well,
you could put
couldn't you put
sunglasses.
right? That's what I was
I
gonna
guess,
say.
I guess, but like, I mean, a hat is a 24-hour item. A sunglass is like, you look pretty crazy after sundown with sunglasses on. So,
I would say like I do think that close to $200 is crazy, especially if a quarter of them fell out like with the first time
yeah,
we washed. We're assuming that Jody was not scrubbing and rubbing and freaking out and crying and
right.
going insane like a monkey,
Which
but
she
like
might have been.
possibly. But
She
I
seemed
would,
upset.
I mean, here we are, two of us. So
Yes,
neither of us have ever had this done. So
true.
odds are, like, you're probably going to encounter people that are novices to this
Yeah,
process. So you would imagine that there would be a little conversation, especially when
100%.
it's communicated that I'm new at this. This is what I like. This is what I don't
Right,
like. That you would assume there would be a check-in. And afterwards, I understand like there's nothing to be done about the length. It's not safe for me to trim these.
right,
So like we have to redo everything. Like that just seems obvious to me. So like I don't fault the salon for that, but I
right.
do question why there was not a check-in. So that would have like a little bit of that would have a little lasting impact on me.
I
Um,
agree. I agree. Like I don't understand why they didn't give her instructions when she left. It seemed quite obvious throughout the whole process that she was like a novice, and she also left, not happy. I don't know. It just seems it definitely. I want to validate Jody B because it seems like some things were not handled properly. Um,
and I
and
love that Jody B starts this by saying, I admit that I chose the mixed length because I that's what I thought I wanted. Like
right,
they don't start out being a victim. They don't say
yeah,
like they were horrible to me. They say like I might have mistakenly chosen the length, but I'm new at this.
right. Yeah, totally. And like also that she was like, I've been debating writing this for hours, but every time I walk by a mirror, I'm almost in tears. Like I kind of like I feel for Jody. Like that sucks. Like when you do something like this, you're doing it because you want to feel better about yourself and look
Right.
nice and have that moment of looking in the mirror, being like, hey girl, hey. And the fact that she did this and had the opposite reaction, I personally, I'm super sensitive to reviews when it comes to things that are on my face, like when I'm doing like laser on the face or like eyebrows or something like that. I think I do pay a lot of attention to the reviews with stuff like that. And I would definitely second guess whether or not I was going to go to this place after I read this review.
That's interesting. What was the spelling and grammar like?
There were a lot of little mistakes. It wasn't perfect. It was long, so she had a lot to say. Um, but there were little like she said,
Did you say
um,
paid down
she
instead of late?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she said I paid down and she began. I mean, I'm assuming she meant that she like sat down. I don't really know how that happens with autocorrect, but
I think they do lay you down though. Like,
oh, maybe she I laid down. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. So yeah, so like paid instead of laid.
but
Um,
Jody B has been crying.
yes,
It's like they didn't have time to like go through with a magnifying glass. They were too upset.
correct. I'm sure her eyes were swollen. I mean, they've been like poked and prodded and now cried and washed and
Not very
so
humor. There wasn't a lot of humor here.
no, I mean this was not a humorous review. This was, I think, like a heartfelt emotional dump in a way of Jody B's experience. I think that I'll give it to Jody B. Like, I feel like she's talking directly to the other people that also maybe haven't had this done before and saying like, look, like you said, like I'm new to this, like I didn't really know what I wanted, but I thought I did research. I thought I provided like photographic
Examples.
examples of what I wanted. And you know, I was really, really disappointed, and I tried not to be, but I just am. And I think that as someone that's newer to this, like I would be listening. I'm listening to you, Jody B, for sure.
Yeah, I think I can crown this.
Okay, let's crown it.
All right. So, in an effort to be fair, Chelsey and I each have our own set of 1 to 5 crown cards. We will reveal our scores simultaneously so that we will not be impacted by the other's review.
The queens are tabulating.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Total score.
Okay, interesting. Trey is holding up 3 crowns and I am holding up 4 crowns. Trey, tell us about your 3 crowns.
Okay, so I chose 3, very middle of the road, because I do actually very much believe Jody B. I appreciate that they expressed where they felt they were responsible and were, you know, very emotionally driven in this review.
Yes.
Not a lot of humor, doesn't matter, because that doesn't really affect my score that much, especially when it's very emotional and I do believe the person. Spelling was sort of...
It does impact making a review queen, so.
Correct. Spelling's all over the place. You know, I did think that this is valuable only because I've never had this done. And so if I was going to, I would take from this review that I need to really spell out, okay, y'all, I need to check in with you this entire process. I don't want to come out of here looking like a clown. Like, let's be serious. Although I am a drag queen lover. And so give me a 301, give me crazy, crazy, crazy raccoon eyelashes. I love that look. I think nothing is more chic, but that isn't what Jody wanted. And she seems to have felt, they felt that that's what they walked out with. And so for that reason, you know, the impact is, I think I would feel more armed with needing to be extremely proactive in my experience. And so for that reason, I gave it 3. What about you?
I gave it 4, which, as you know, for me is a pretty high score. So I was a little bit surprised with myself. I was also I was oscillating between 3.5 and 4, to be honest. I was just putting myself in Jody's shoes a little bit and identifying that this felt like a very authentic experience, that me as a consumer looking to possibly get lashes would certainly be impacted by Jody's experience. And I appreciate her sharing her experience with me. I took off also, you know, a crown for lack of humor and the spelling and grammar issues for sure. I thought about taking off another half crown because of what you said. Like, I don't really know this experience. So maybe if I had done this all the time, I would feel differently. Like, I'm not that knowledgeable in the subject matter. So, you know, maybe that's worth a half crown if somebody else is like, oh, she should never have said mixed lashes or whatever. I don't know. But that's what I give it 4 crowns. I believed her. I believed it was honest. And I think that I would definitely do a little bit more research before I would go to this place, and maybe even before I would do this at all. So 4 crowns.
Well said.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Sorry, Jody B. I hope that it all works out for you, girl.
I do. I'm sure they're out by now. When did Jody B write this review? A year ago. So I hope she's recovered.
I wish Jody B had submitted images so that I could take a look.
True. I can't remember if you can submit images on Google reviews. You can, right?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Godspeed, Jody B.
Yes. Best of luck to you.
All right. Let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we can get into my review of the week.
Oh my God. Can't wait.
Baby, it's time to